with a tragic story here. First, about the murder of Ahmaud Aubrey, a 25-year-old black male in Georgia. Video has now been released showing Ahmaud jogging on February 23rd in Brunswick, Georgia. In the video, you can see Ahmaud approaching a stationary pickup from behind. He tries to bypass the truck and then is seen struggling with a man carrying a shotgun. There's a muffled shouting and shotgun shots are heard. Ahmaud tried to run from the truck before he collapses to the ground, having been shot. The two men that stopped Mr. Aubrey were Gregory McMichael, a former district attorney investigator, and his son, Travis McMichael. This is where the story now gets truly bizarre. In a police report, Gregory McMichael says he saw Mr. Aubrey and believed he resembled the suspect in a series of break-ins in the neighborhood. He and his son armed themselves and pursued him in a pickup truck in an effort to conduct a citizen's arrest. So they basically get ahead of the jogging Aubrey to then basically arrest him in a citizen's arrest. Make sense of that. Here to talk about this murder is Kimberlyn Carter, an unapologetically black political strategist for progressive campaigns focusing on economic, criminal, and climate justice. Kimberlyn, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Bob.
Kimberlyn, a tragic story. Again, the last time we had you on as well, we were talking about the deaths from COVID-19, but racism here in America is still running rampant. You're in Georgia. Tell us a little bit more why there was not an initial arrest of Gregory and Travis McMichael and whether or not you think there will be.
Well, just let me just say something very quickly, Bob. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit tardy on the call. I was participating in a conference call with Black Mamas Against Gun Violence. It's a grassroots group of Black women here in Georgia who've all lost their children senselessly to gun violence. On yesterday, I participated in a call and listened to Ahmaud's mother, Wanda Cooper, talk about her son and talk about how he has been jogging since his youth. He was a high school all-star linebacker, always a great athlete. She said that everywhere they've lived, he's always been a jogger. Everybody's known, him being a jogger. As you can see, the hashtag they've started, I Run with Maud, because, they called him, most people that know him call him Maud instead of Ahmaud. And so in this particular community, everyone knew him. They said they never knew what time he would come back from jogging because he's the kind of jogger, waving at everybody, stopping to help somebody. Just a really great kid. And so these two guys, they've seen him. This is not some big, large, sprawling metropolis. It's a small town. People know each other, and it is just absolutely painful, absolutely ridiculous. This particular DA doesn't have to do all this grand jury business, knowing that right now the grand juries aren't set to even resume until late June because of the COVID situations here from a judicial order. She can place the charges, VA can place the charges without having to convene a grand jury, but this is all about protecting white supremacy, in protecting the blue wall, if so, and it's just a lot of disparities and injustices going to play out.
Kimberlyn, what I thought was so striking to it regarding case law and these type of shootings is that they didn't claim stand your ground or castle doctrine. Basically a stand your ground case since they were in public street. The two people who eventually murder Ahmaud were ahead of him, waiting for him, basically. And what they're trying to claim is that they were doing a citizen's arrest. And to do a citizen's arrest, which is like bizarre in enough of itself, you actually have to watch the person commit the crime or be in the vicinity of the crime. And they're just basically saying that they thought he looked like somebody who at some point over some time in the past had committed these burglaries. And it speaks volumes to the fact that an arrest hasn't been made during this time because everything will be delayed and these two men will continue to stay out of jail even longer than they already have.
Absolutely they will. And so what we have to understand about this larger narrative coming from this White House is when Donald Trump said we're going to reopen America, we're going to reopen America, he literally gave these yahoos a call to action. And so what they think they are doing is performing their ness of America. And like you said about this, citizens arrest, this Barney Fife small town type of ideology. Well, Glenn County, not only does Glenn County have a sheriff's department, but the city of Brunswick has its own police department. So I'm saying, there's enough law enforcement in that whole area that we don't need citizens arming themselves practicing vigilante justice. But this is just vigilante justice. This is racial profiling. This is public modern day lynching. And unfortunately, guys, I feel like it's just the beginning, and we are going to see more and more of these types of things, like we're seeing with folks standing with AK-47s and AR-15 rifles in our state capitals across this country without any law enforcement check on any of that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's stressful times, and it's going to continue to be stressful, and I think people will pull the trigger in situations where in the past maybe they just threatened somebody with a gun. Kimberlyn, I wanted to slightly pivot, but